Part 30. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 291. Originally, the audience in the live broadcast room was happily watching these Baidu masters, who are rare for ordinary people to see, or even never meet in their lifetime, hitting an invisible wall of air here. Anyway, dead Taoist friends are not dead Taoists, and 8 of the 10 worlds are normal, so they can just watch and have fun. However, when Yeshi said these words, all the attention was attracted to him in an instant. What other unexpected things happened in the unknown time? Kick the doorframe. Actually, it feels like this is a testing ground, to be honest. You don't like to hear it. I think the nature of this place is the same as that of the planet of behemoths. Golden Mouse, it should not be just such a simple thing. Brother Ye must have noticed more important issues, otherwise, the obvious testing ground would not surprise Ye Shen so much. Well known. The cradle of life on Blue Star comes from the ocean. Although the genes are ever changing, the underlying code is the same. But in this place, the underlying coding of their genes is completely inconsistent, so that they can breed all kinds of strange life forms. It is precisely because of this that a biological explosion is happening here all the time. In a completely dark forest law universe, only the strong can stay. This is no longer simply natural selection. Evolving at such a high speed over such a long period of time, these life forms that have gone very far on the evolutionary path are closer to an extreme life form. If I had to use a similar example, I'm afraid I would never associate immortal with them. They are more like beings on the other side of the abyss. Yeshi said with some emotion in his tone, looking at the colorful, angry energy fluctuations and the mighty weapon power in front of him. Yunran is me, please don't say it is well known, this is called few people know. Tomcat, hee, actually I also want to go to the abyss to trade, but most of the entrances to the abyss that I already know are guarded by powerful people and there is no way to get close. Hey, it is difficult for others to do this, but it cannot be difficult for me, so, hee, little Poseidon is right. Actually, except for the time when Brother Ye went to the abyss last time in Sun Star, it seems that the abyss is quite uncommon. So, Blue Cat, you made a deal with abyss, right? Why didn't I see you in the abyss last time? Tomcat, that prison on the Sun Star, it used to be guarded by the 4 kings of heaven, but now it is guarded by the little Poseidon. I am a businessman who does my duty, so I will not ask for trouble. The area designated by Tianzun turned out to be life close to the abyss. I don't dare to think about this. They should have chosen different forks in the road of evolution. However, there is no way to choose the path of immortality in this place, so this situation occurred. Yeshi added another sentence. He looked at the trembling Baidu stars and Ziwei stars in the live broadcast room and comforted them. It's not a big deal. At most, it will turn into that kind of monster on the fork in the road of evolution. Ordinary monks like you are not qualified for this. If you really want to get out of this small universe, you can always find a way. At least now we have a real way forward, which is better than before. Anyway, what you Baidu said is correct. The road to immortality is indeed here. Yeshi comforted him nonchalantly, and then rode the white tiger into the starry sky, regardless of whether it was of any use. It happened that he was too lazy to go all the way to find the Kowloon coffin. Someone was still desperately trying to help him bring the Kowloon coffin back. In this case, it was better to lie down. By the way, you can also take a look at the big fireworks in front of you. While admiring the fireworks and wondering when these powerful people would bring back the Kowloon coffin, his eyes moved slightly, and he inadvertently looked at the red-haired monster still squatting in the Shengsu. With this sudden flash of inspiration, Yeshi understood what the problem with the other party was. Rumble. The vast heavenly sound came from afar, countless energies gathered together, and the ancient and mysterious black dragon lingered majestically from the dark border. The speed was faster than expected. These people should have discovered that the nine-dragon coffin is similar to a spaceship. As long as it is positioned on the five-color altar, the direction can be reversed. Yashi stood up and thought about the source of the curse on the red-haired monster. This was the curse and pollution from the direction of evolution, which originated from this world. Although I have only seen it twice, no matter how many times I see this magnificent scene, it cannot be overstated the nine dragons pull the coffin. Is this a return to ancient mythology or to the other side of the starry sky? Who knows? I wonder if these nine black dragons are related to our blue star dragons. Then what I am more curious about is who is buried inside the coffin. Waste Didi, Tianzun. 1,000 miles never leave 1,000 miles away. Why is it this idea again? How dare you say it? It's life-threatening, right? This is something you can say. Such words can inspire all living beings, just like Buddha. Tai Shanglajun, it is impossible to have a deity, but there are some possibilities for incarnation, but this coffin is not for burying people. Yashi was still thinking about whether there was such an existence on the evolutionary path of this small universe. Originally, he thought that he could completely suppress everyone in this small universe after becoming an immortal, but now it seems that this is still not stable enough. If the curse radiated from the source has reached the point where he cannot spy on it, Yashi dare not imagine how strong this big guy is. But there is also a possibility that because the curse comes from this small universe, the partition arranged by Tianzun directly blocks Yashi's exploration. Looking for the curse is tantamount to trying to spy on this universe from the outside world, which is naturally empty. In fact, if you want to figure it out, just Yashi can go and take a look. But Yashi didn't plan to look. Whether it was the big guy at the source of the curse or Tianzun, he didn't want to intervene. The nine dragons pulled the coffin along the route of departure. Around it, as well as on the coffin and the dragon, there were countless decayed monks without any breath of life. Each of them either amazed a piece of ancient history or dominated for a period of time, but now, they can only drag the rotten Dexianti to seek the last chance to become an immortal. Yashi landed on it riding a white tiger, and these people quietly made way. Immortal, I want to ask, is the opening of the immortal road we calculated the easiest time to break the cage in front of us? Yashi was a little surprised to see these old monsters so friendly, and raised his eyebrows slightly after hearing this. No. I used to think that the immortal realm you are going to is the same place as where I came from. After all, you can get immortality and prove the eternity of Deluo, but now I think it is not. The immortal realm you are going to should be the upper realm of this world. There is the immortal matter you mentioned. After saying this, Yashi silently added in his heart. Maybe there will be a monster left by a corrupted Tianzun. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 292. Yashi was not blind. He didn't notice the message from the great god whose ID was Tai's Hanglajun in the live broadcast room. People had already made it so obvious. Coupled with the extremely weird existence of life here and the abyss of evolution that Yashi just discovered, and in line with what Tai's Hanglajun said, it is obvious that Tianzun left an incarnation. This incarnation is still it's very likely that it's almost rotten. Well. Yashi felt that he was right to stay calm and not explore the curse behind the red-haired monster. The water is too deep here. He had just gone to a divine ruins and dug out Shengongbao, a flat peach tree, the Nantianman immortal killing sword, and one of the 36 palaces of heaven. After Yashi calculated this, he suddenly realized that this place was really outrageous. After all, it is a dojo arranged by a deity. After retracting these thoughts, Yashi saw many old monsters with frightened spirits. There was no wave on their faces. After all, they had been corpses for millions of years. This kind of emotional control was still completely possible. But the exploding soul wave was too strong. Yashi had never lived in this small universe, so he didn't know how deeply his casual words would hurt others. However, Seeing such rotten old monsters with a strong smell of death, they did not treat him like the previous sand sculptures. Take action. He knew that the previous group of people were indeed arranged to test him. But that's not important, it's just an exploration anyway. Under the brilliance of the sky, there was still no one in this wall of nothingness. They split it open, making them extremely desperate. They could only watch the 9 dragons pulling the coffin and carrying Yeshi to the outer universe. And those who originally wanted to follow Yeshi out, but they passed through a void, with the cold universe in front of them, just like when Yeshi came. They couldn't see where the Kowloon coffin set sail, and they didn't know where it was heading. Yeshi stood on the ancient road in the starry sky again, looked up at the sky, which was so close but didn't know how far away it was. Compared to the sun hanging in the blue star sky, the real sun was magnified tens of thousands of times and sighed. One breath. Sure enough, it's more comfortable outside. Tisk, you can't see the outside from the inside, but you can see the inside from the outside. This is just like a large chicken farm. If I turned into a chicken and ran into the chicken farm, I would already feel uncomfortable. The people of Baidu Planet and Xiwei Planet have lost all their arrogance after being hit by this wave, and their tails were almost raised to the sky before. Xiwei is okay, Baidu is really cool, haha. Tai Shanglejun, it's not that simple. If it is really just a breeding farm, how could the immortal killing sword fall on it? Not only is he the most deadly sword in the world, but his arrogance can also penetrate 33 in the sky. The phoenix will never fall into a treasureless land, and the Xuxian sword is even more powerful than the phoenix. Comfort, family members, I can do it again. Yeshi also saw this barrage and naturally felt that his previous steady approach was indeed the best choice. He knew that the water was too deep. And I don't know if it's my imagination, but the idea of Tai's Hanglejun doesn't seem to have appeared for a long time. It seems that I saw it more often during this live broadcast to Baidu. Although he thought so in his heart, Yeshi didn't show anything. Instead, he smiled and said to the live broadcast room, "This live broadcast ends here. It's a worthwhile trip." Yeshi looked at the camera and continued. Baidu gave me such a big surprise. Actually, you can imagine that the legendary Nantianmen and Xuxian sword appear in one of the restricted areas of life in Baidu, while other places are as famous as Shengsu. If there are friends who want to come and explore, I can help. No, thank you for showing us the way to the underworld. I still want to live for now. It's over again. Will my empty world appear again? Laughing to death, even if I went to Mars to chew wood, I wouldn't go to Baidu. Although Brother Ye did not dismantle Baidu this time, he blew up the spirit of all the monks on Baidu Planet. How can I put it this way? You are worthy of it. How about it? Have I given you a new surprise? As I said, don't be too anxious to sigh about other planets if you have nothing to do. Take a closer look at yourself now. It's okay, it's your turn to blow up your home. I saw on the news that a house was on fire nearby. When I got closer, I found that it was my house on fire, crying. Taoist priest wicked, it's just a small thing. The top monk will be dead in 10,000 years. It's more worthy of crying. I've never seen you cry before. Various discussions are still going on happily in the live broadcast room. Yeshi unplugged the network cable with a click and closed the live broadcast room. Then he quickly ran back to Blue Star from the starry sky ancient road, and then returned to his own world from Blue Star. And when he entered his own world and looked at the extremely lively world manor, Yeshi almost thought he was in the wrong place. Later, after looking at these seemingly drunken, singing and dancing spirits, I remembered that I had packed them up and thrown them in. As a result now, these little monsters are having parties with those fairy tale creatures on the newly appeared islands. The aroma of food is everywhere, as if they are free of charge. There are also many animated characters that have only appeared in cartoons, as well as those weird teacups, teapots, bowls, and little grapes that occasionally jump. It all made Yeshi have some hallucinations that he had traveled through time in a movie. In the whole world, except for Yeshi, the other residents were very happy. Including the little fish in the North Sea and the big octopus, and even the little golden crow in the sun in the sky. The sky is filled with mighty thick white clouds. However, these clouds are no longer simple clouds. I only see the breeze blowing by, blowing out a skybird made of white clouds. The skybird occasionally turns into a big fish and swims in the sky. The Kunlun sacred tree has grown to outer space and is greeting the angel. The floating road in outer space still manifests the appearance of the heaven. In the past, only the ruins of the gods were discovered, but now, it is clear that what is manifested here is the heaven in a different location. The water in Gigzu is still flowing continuously, everything in the world is moving towards Gigzu, and the sun rises from Gigzu. When Yeshi came to this world, he had a feeling that myths and fairy tales came together. He looked at everything in front of him and couldn't help but read an ancient poem he had learned, which brought the misty ancient charm to this world. Feel. It is the endless treasure of the Creator. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 293. Yeshi was standing on a sea, and the undercurrent was surging under the sea, and the waves sparkled under the sunlight. The world was constantly expanding, but the energy in the ocean was still not diluted. Because, although the energy rushing out from Mars was not enough to supply such a large sea, but, there was a Kunlun sacred tree. When Yeshi was in Baidu, he saw many caves and blessed places, but no place could be compared with his world. If the energy tide, spiritual tide, of Blue Star was still slowly moving forward, then Yeshi's side was a daily tsunami. The energy here was too abundant, and it was not just the abundance of low-end energy, but it was about to be transformed into energy similar to fairy energy. A mortal could probably get rid of all diseases with just one breath, and living in this place for a long time would also be of great benefit to cultivation. Therefore, the limited life in this world is constantly evolving, even those stones, grass, and even clouds, as well as high-tech products. To describe it in scientific language, the essence of everything is actually the use of energy, in other words, energy. The energy that does not require secondary processing for basic life in Yeshi's world has far exceeded all the energy that can be generated by the entire solar system. Yeshi now looks at his world with two completely different eyes. One is from the perspective of immortals, and the other is from the perspective of technology. From the perspective of immortals, there is nothing surprising, the four words cave heaven and blessed land can solve everything. But from the perspective of science, whether this world exists or not is probably still unknown. Because technology cannot confirm whether the world that only exists in Yeshi's memory is a real and firm material world. As for the civilization that Yeshi has come into contact with, there are indeed many cutting-edge technologies. For example, the core energy of each giant beast on the giant beast planet is actually the planetary core of the giant beast planet, which leads to unlimited rebirth and has not yet hit the ceiling of development. Admittedly, the spherical core of the giant beast planet is very powerful, but this is because the raw materials are very powerful. The scientific means used are one thing, but the raw materials are so extraordinary that it seems that the technology has no content. Looking at all the technological civilizations that Yeshi encountered, they all cannot escape the use of high-end raw materials, and there are almost none that involve the development of sophisticated technology. In other words, no matter how high-end the technological civilizations that Yeshi encountered were, they were all purely material civilizations. They could transform the spirit with material, but they could not directly use the spirit. And Yeshi's cultivation of immortals was a typical Taoist cultivation of immortals, advocating the ascension of the spirit. As for the flesh shell, it was no longer important. But the civilization of the Baidu world, although the immortal platform was more important, the flesh was also used. When Yeshi stood in his own world and recalled this, he realized that this might also be an experiment of the Tianzun. He didn't understand why the division between spirit and matter in this universe was so clear. Before, it was because of his personal reasons that he actually didn't notice this, but when he came back from Baidu, Yeshi suddenly noticed this. Looking at his own world, Yeshi let the system temporarily act as a CPU, digitizing everything he had seen so far and establishing a world data database. Sure enough, the world's entity could not be constructed at all. Only the models of Kunlun sacred tree, Ilang, and the sun could be constructed. From the computer's perspective, everything in front of him was nothingness, and the digital model he had established was the same. Even the virtual map he had established was more real than the real world in front of him. I always thought that when technological civilization developed to the end, it should be able to utilize the spirit and emotions of life, but now, I can't even scan a living world. What exactly is the technological civilization I saw before? Or is it that all technological civilizations can only achieve material utilization? Yeshi thought about it seriously, and always felt that there was some very important secret hidden in it, but now he still couldn't see anything. System, are technology, and cultivation really two different paths of the same road? The technological civilization I'm exposed to now is all about material use, and has nothing to do with spiritual content. I remember that the Taoist Orthodox cultivation secret book I got before said that even the lowest corpse immortal can change the body at will, not to mention the immortals above, and the last Tianzun proves eternity. Which one is more important, material or spiritual? Ding, in response to the host's question, the system's answer is, spirit. There are indeed civilizations in the universe that have gone deep from the technological path, but whether the end can reach the Deluo Tianzun realm on the cultivation side, please explore it yourself. Yeshi couldn't help but complain when he heard this. Aren't you a product of technology? Are you contradicting yourself? The rewards at the beginning were all things like genetic nutrient solution, and now you're talking about self-exploration, right? Ding, that's because these things are easier to get than dragon eggs and cultivation secrets, and the system itself does have a storage of technological prizes. Pick up some garbage. Yeshi. I've never seen such a useless system. Ding, according to the needs of the host, we are now conducting a search in all realms. The search target is, science and technology civilization. The search is in progress. Please check later. Yeshi rolled his eyes, and then quietly opened a skylight on Blue Star. He wanted to observe the known technological civilization, but found no, Blue Star has become an immortal civilization. Yeshi took a few glances and felt there was no need to continue reading. He closed the sunroof and complained to the system. I wasn't sure before, but as soon as you mentioned picking up trash, I understood. The path of Ching technology has not been explored at all, right? In other words, technological civilization can indeed protect weak individuals, but the upper limit is too small. Now I seriously doubt that the gods that the civilization that created the beast planet wants to hunt are immortals. Yeshi thought of this and shook his head again, feeling something was wrong. A flash of inspiration flashed through Yeshi, and he was enlightened. Is there a relationship between technological civilization and the abyss? Ding, congratulations to your host, you have discovered a whole new world. The direction you are heading is my goal. The goal of scientific and technological civilization exploration has been locked. They are the following destinations, please choose the host. Yeshi laughed when he heard this and asked a creepy question. System, are you serving me or others? Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 294. This question really made everyone who heard it feel cold all over. When Xuanhuan spoke out, he was still surprised as to why he chose to ask. If someone really arranged everything for him, wouldn't it be a disaster? However, unexpectedly, Yeshi was not nervous at all. Ding, this system only follows the host and only serves the host. The host's goal is the power of this system. The line of words in red and bold was for fear that Yeshi wouldn't be able to see it. Yeshi was silent for a while, actually thinking about which technological planet to choose for exploration, but the system seemed to be a little scared and couldn't hold it anymore, so he continued. Ding, host, your destination has been locked by you, and the scenery along the way is just as you wish. Yeshizhung was thinking about choosing a planet with a nicer name to explore, but he heard the system's self-destruction. He raised his eyebrows slightly and immediately understood the meaning of the system's almost straightforward words. I understand, my future has been locked. You mean that I have achieved eternity, and no matter what the process is, I will definitely reach the end of eternity, right? Ding, the host's goal is the power of this system. Screening technological side planets that are interesting enough for the host. Seeing that the system almost answered in the affirmative, Yeshi finally understood why he had the nerve to ask directly, and he didn't feel there was any problem at all. This really shouldn't be a problem. So, go to this planet. Yeshi casually clicked on the map of the world in front of him. His fingertips moved slightly, creating a circle of ripples, just like water waves moving in response to the sound. The place he pointed to was an Earth-yellow planet. A wasteland planet where technology has brought life to an end. By the way, you haven't answered my question yet. Can science and technology last forever? System, ding, I'm just a system, I don't know. Yeshi shrugged and confirmed the fact that the system was a waste. Sure enough, I am where I am today all thanks to my own efforts. He took out all the rewards obtained from exploring the Shen ruins, and then saw large chunks of them emitting dazzling light. These divine sources were of little use to Yeshi, so he simply threw them all into the ruins and stored them as an eternal refrigerator. There was also a magic weapon that could spread stars and move images. Yeshi looked up at the sky and found that he didn't see any stars for him to arrange, so he threw it into his utility room. And those few secret books are still placed on the bookshelf. The Life Stone of the Beginning. Yeshi took it in his hand, thought about it, woke up the Tiangong who was squatting in the alchemy furnace, and then threw all the Teishu life stones to him and sent him to the area of Ding Lu Shenhuo. As for the immortal boat he obtained, Yeshi placed it on the sea and drifted with the waves. As for the King Kongzhou, this thing is indeed genuine, much better than those pirated ones. Yeshi put it on his hand and made it smaller, using it as a decoration. If necessary, he could also throw it out as a weapon to kill him. Other people. As for the rest, there is nothing very important. The immortal peach tree has found a good place to plant it, and it has discovered that there is fairy energy in this world, which means it can restore its former identity. Not only that, this place filled with fairy energy also has enough fairy power to supply other flat peach trees. So Yeshi watched the bronze divine vine happily chewing the peaches and then planted the peach stones. Soon, a peach orchard would appear here. Not bad. Yeshi looked at the blank immortal book in his hand and wrote Kraken's name on it with a stroke of his pen. As for whether he could become an immortal or not, that had nothing to do with him. After writing a few names, Yeshi put down the fairy book and walked out. The two dragons, who looked as quiet as pendants, were lost in thought. The white tiger had already slipped away and played with the furniture and fruits over there. Yeshi sat on the crown of the Kunlun sacred tree and practiced lightly for a while. It was really just a little practice, but when Yeshi opened his eyes, it was a month later. Sure enough, there is no time to practice. I almost forgot that my main job is exploration. Yeshi stretched and came down from the tree crown. It's time to leave for the next planet. This kind of constant exposure to new scenery, different lives, and even different civilizations is indeed very interesting. I remember wanting to go to that planet. It seemed like I had to go through a river. Yeshi put away the ferry boat. I finally got on the internet, and the internet is already full of grief. If Yeshen doesn't come out, I will die without Yeshen's live broadcast. I will really die. Hey, the IP address upstairs is Baidu. Just ask if you don't understand. So there are also network cables in the underworld. Many people started making fun of them, so since the last time Yeshi went to Baidu and dropped a lot of depth bombs, Baidu Star was fine, but Baidu people were in trouble. I don't know how many people died, but the internet has already joked about it as the underworld. Of course, when people on the other 8 planets pray to Buddha and worship the gods every day, they must not use their imaginations to explore their home planets, otherwise one of them and the home planet will always die. After logging onto the internet, seeing the chaos of demons, real demons, Yeshi took a look and posted a message. The place for this exploration has been selected, and we will soon see different civilizations in the starry sea again. A stone stirs up thousands of waves. I don't know how many people commented on this post. Most of them are you finally remembered that you are still an explorer. There are even more people crying for their parents, and shouting at their sons. Yeshi looked at it for a few times and didn't continue to read. He held a small ferry boat in his hand, and the man had disappeared on the spot. Under the expectation of everyone, Yeshi postponed 10 worlds for a whole day. My time is 3 seconds, how long will your time be, Yeshen? Comments like this are endless, and they are praised to the highest point. And Yeshi has now taken a shortcut along the ancient road of the starry sky and came to the dark and cold universe, and put down his ferry boat. At the same time, there is a very eye-catching small decoration on the ferry boat. A white dragon is landing on it. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Pian Hai. Chapter 295. The along was like a thread, coiling on the immortal boat, adding a mysterious atmosphere to it. Compared with the spaceship full of technology before, the immortal boat in front of him was full of the flavor of the immortal court, and even had a logo on it, but Yeshi couldn't tell which great god of the 33 heavens it was. However, none of this mattered. Because Yeshi had already driven the immortal boat to a vast extraterritorial star field. Even though this star field was within the visible universe of the blue star, it was so far away that the thought of the distance made life despair, so no one knew where this place was. The immortal boat sailed in a dead and empty star field. Yeshi just opened the live broadcast room at this time. This was like a traveler who had been thirsty for 5 days and 5 nights in the desert and saw clear water falling from the sky. In an instant, he even doubted whether he was a demon. However, after reacting, these netizens who watched the live broadcast couldn't help but complain. Do you know that after you said you would start live streaming, a full day and 3 hours passed, which is 27 hours, 1620 minutes, 97,200 seconds, 972,000,000 milliseconds, 972,000,000,000 microseconds. Do you know how I spent every microsecond? You don't know, you only know to enjoy the scenery of the sea of stars alone, you don't care how I survived at all. You are right, but Uruguay has a population of 3.457 million, and there are 47 million kangaroos in Australia alone. If kangaroos decide to invade Uruguay, then every Uruguayan will have to fight 14 kangaroos. You don't know, you don't care, you only care about yourself. Tomcat, as far as I know, kangaroos don't have so much leisure to fight people. You don't know, you don't care, you just want to watch the fun. Yeshi? He really has nothing to say about these stupid netizens, and this tomcat is like a fish in water, going wherever there is fun, not like a big boss with thousands of clones at all. I did say immediately, it's just a little later than immediately, don't care too much about such a small thing. Why don't we take a look at our destination now? Planet Silas. Yeshi paused when he said this. Actually, I don't know much about this galaxy and the life planet. You're too polite, no need to explain, just say it directly. Yashi looked into the distance, his eyes traveled through countless distances, looking at an extinguished galaxy, and continued. Although I tried my best to collect some information, I don't know much about this strange planet. But this planet is indeed completely different from all the planets we have seen before. It's a bit like the blue star after a few hundred years of civilization that insists on technology. No need to say more. This galaxy is just ahead, about 2 light-years away, not very far, you will know when you get there. Yashi stretched out his hand and pointed to the distance. 2 light-years, not very far. ALA country, 1 light-year is about 9 billion kilometers, it is really not far, it's strange. Yang Xuanhuan, Blue Star has been able to colonize within the solar system. I have to thank Yeshen for this. Kicking the door frame, but most of it is not based on technology, but because everyone has cultivated immortals and does not need to breathe air or eat on time. Ha 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 ha. Yashi was not surprised when he saw these comments. If he were to describe it, Blue Star has been experiencing a technological explosion all the time recently, and in terms of material energy technology, each step is a big stage. I took a look at the current situation of Blue Star before and saw many space elevators, space fortresses were built in outer space, and there are extraterrestrial orbits. Of course, there are also some flying swords, which are not contradictory, it's strange. Anyway, the current Blue Star is getting closer and closer to the world described in the novel, with future technology and cultivation. What's more amazing is that the two systems of technology and cultivation are not confused, and they can be said to be clearly distinguished. Of course, this is not important. Because the speed of the immortal boat is really fast, 2 light-years is not 20,000 light-years, and it will reach the destination in the blink of an eye. Yashi looked at a large mass of darkness in the distance, and the quantum sea with strong fluctuations. That dark galaxy without any light was his destination. As the distance got closer, Yashi's voice also rang out. The planet Silas is already very far away from the Milky Way. So this time when I came to Silas, I also used the ancient starry road to transfer for a while, which saved a lot of time. In fact, at the beginning, I thought I could go directly to Silas this time, but although there is an ancient starry road there are no coordinates of whereabouts, that is, there is no 5-color altar for guidance. This is also quite rare. I have been to so many planets, only this place does not have a 5-color altar. Yashi added a few words here. But at the beginning, when I collected information about Silas, I knew that this planet was very special. In the collected information, this is a pure technological civilization, and then died of technology, and now it has become a wasteland planet. I think even if it is a wasteland, can it be like Mars? There is no 5-color altar. Yashi laughed at himself after saying this. When I look at the results now, my dear, this is not necessarily the wasteland planet I imagined. I am now only 0.005 light-years away from the planet Silas, but what I can see with the naked eye is still pitch black. There's no light here. I'm afraid that the destruction of this planet and even the galaxy is not just due to the misuse of technology. To be honest, it's the first time I haven't seen the sun in a galaxy, so I feel a little weird. Did the sun go out, then the superimposed technology battlefield will be like this? Brothers, the planet doesn't shine, it's most likely the sun here, so we can't see anything. Tomcat, hee, I have been to this place before, but the material energy here is too special. I walked around the door and didn't go in. I rubbed my hands. Are you ready to go in, little Poseidon? Then I'm too looking forward to it. The famous interstellar businessman Tomcat doesn't even dare to enter here. Blue Cat, what's in here? Tomcat, there is a very weird and special power that can communicate. Hey, ding, please pay the customer, rightward arrow click to pay, get the information you want to know. Yunran is me, what profiteer, Can you hang street lights? Yeshi was not surprised when he noticed that no one noticed the dragon hanging on his ferry boat. After all, the along really looked like a carved building, and the real boss didn't show up. But when he looked at the live broadcast room and saw that Tomcat started to sell things in the barrage, Yeshi was really speechless. So he manually gave this idea very eye-catching title: Rightward Arrow Interstellar Profiteer. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 296. Diamond Suit Interstellar Profiteer. Tomcat, thank you for the gift from the little sea god. To thank you for your help, I will deliver a small gift to you right now. Yeshi was lost in thought at this time. Because he heard a call from afar, and this earnest call came from behind him. Yeshi estimated the distance, and it was probably from the ancient starry road he had just come down from. Brother, there is a blue cat running after you from behind you, and it looks very much like Tom. Diamond Suit Interstellar Profiteer. Tomcat, it's me, little sea god, I'm here to find you. Yeshi looked at this barrage, exhaled, and then turned around and saw a grinning Tomcat waving at him. It's a bit too fast. What do you think? Yeshi frowned and looked at the Tomcat, who came to him at an unknown speed. I saw the other party break suddenly. Then Tomcat's face was full of smiles, his eyes narrowed into a curved line, his whiskers trembled, and he handed the thing in his hand to Yeshi. This is a small gift to thank you for helping me, little sea god. The planet Silas is very special. I hope you, little sea god, don't blow up the whole place there. Goodbye, little sea god, I have to go somewhere else to trade. Something was stuffed into Yeshi's hand, and Tomcat glanced at the along decoration on the ferry boat. Wow, little sea god, this little pet of yours, sell it. I can offer twice the price. Yeshi smiled. You'd better leave quickly. Tomcat didn't feel disappointed when he heard it, but waved his hand vigorously at Yeshi. Goodbye, see you next time, little sea god. By the way, Atlantis and that fish are still waiting for you to inherit the throne. Tomcat said a few more words, and then looked into the void. It's too late, I'm leaving, goodbye. After saying that, Yeshi saw the wagging tail disappear in front of him, so fast that he didn't even have time to say the words of refusal. Awesome, last time I didn't know that this blue cat was so powerful, now I finally know. Not Baidu Lizhija, your universe is so wonderful, I want to go out, I want to go out. Baidu has a rabbit carrying a carrot and ran into the ruins of the gods, and then seemed to enter the South Heaven Gate. Damn, I can't even compare to the rabbit now. Is it the rabbit that wants to blow up Baidu? There are rumors that this rabbit is related to the Heavenly Court, or a creature from the ancient immortal age a long time ago, it is unclear. This Tomcat really knows Yeshen's ability, and specifically told Yeshen not to blow up this place. What happened to the last 3-day trip to the giant beast planet? Guess where I am now, IP address, Nahi Bridge. The live broadcast room was full of all kinds of messy comments. But Yeshi didn't look at it much, but raised his eyebrows at the small gift in his hand. This is a real small gift. It's a lamp. It's a very traditional kerosene lamp, but it's not lit. Yeshi returned to his immortal boat with the kerosene lamp. He said before that from the system map, there is a river or sea blocking the Silas planet. Now you can see the sea. It's not that you can see it with your naked eyes, but everyone can feel that this place is indeed blocked by a quantum sea with a very high sense of existence. Yes, everyone, not just Yeshi. Even in the live broadcast room opened on Blue Star, one can feel that there is a bottomless river blocking Yeshi's way. What is in front of me? I can't see anything, but I just feel that there is something blocking me in front of me. After closing my eyes, this feeling is even stronger, and I can clearly outline that there is a surging river in front of me. Golden hair shell, I felt it, the river here is completely different from the energy sea on Mars, it is hard to describe it in words. Pangbo, there is a little fluctuation similar to the Yuan Shen, but it is completely different. Kick the doorframe, no wonder Brother Ye chose to use the immortal boat as his means of transportation, crossing the river, crossing the boat, worthy of being Ye Shen, it is indeed predicting the enemy in advance, winning thousands of miles away, which is beyond the reach of mortals. Diamond Suit Interstellar Profiteer, Tomcat, 6, friends, are you interested in trading your mouth, no soul, just mouth? If Yeshi goes a few thousand meters further, he may be able to touch this quantum sea. The current distance is that as long as the tide is raised, the immortal boat will definitely be affected. But it's not important, because I was planning to go there. As for the temporary stop, it was because Yeshi wanted to explain the thing in front of him. I believe everyone should have noticed the quantum sea in front of him. Although it can't be seen with the naked eye, everyone can sense it. Do you think it's strange? Not strange. Kick the doorframe, not strange, you ghost, if it's not strange, find me one. Yeshi looked at the doorframe brother with great fighting power with satisfaction, and continued. When such a strange thing happened, did everyone think of a famous ancient experiment? Double-slit interference or Schrödinger's cat? Yeshi didn't expect that there would be someone who would cooperate with him so much, and nodded slightly. These two experiments are actually observer experiments, because the results caused by the observer are different. And why can the observer bring about such a big change? Anyway, I have no way to explain it from a scientific perspective. But it can be explained from the perspective of cultivating immortals. Because soul. Yeshi said a word that most people would never think of. Aelegio, no, as long as it is any observer, it is not limited to humans and life. Diamond Suit Interstellar Profiteer, Tomcat, your definition of soul is too narrow. Do you think that only physical life has soul? I once saw the consciousness of a planet. Click the link below, rightward arrow purchase link, and I will take you to talk to a planet with life. Kinlibyuxing? Yeshi ignored the profiteer who was selling the goods. He knew that many people could not understand what he meant, but he continued. Because of the soul or consciousness, you will have the double-slit interference experiment and Schrödinger's cat. Of course, this is based on my shallow scientific knowledge. If there are any mistakes, you can ignore them. I can't guarantee the field of science, but I can guarantee what is happening in front of me. Yeshi's voice gradually calmed down, and he strengthened his tone. Now we can't see this river in front of us, but we can feel it, this quantum sea, because the soul can be observed that if there is no soul, it is impossible to detect such a huge quantum sea of fluctuations here. This is a very strange thing. Why is there a quantum sea here that can only be detected by souls? And only people with souls can cross this ocean and enter the Silas galaxy. Yeshi paused. It's the same for people entering from the outside. It's the same for things that want to come out from inside. The atmosphere gradually became solemn. There was an inexplicable great terror sweeping the entire live broadcast room. Yeshi's voice was not very loud, but it gave people a feeling of being unable to breathe. However, this atmosphere soon disappeared. Because of a barrage. Yunran is me, so, Tomcat has no soul. Tais Hangla Jun. Diamond Suit Interstellar Profiteer, Tomcat. Yeshi. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yu Pian Hai. Chapter 297. You really know how to grasp the key points. However, I'm really not sure about your question. Yeshi thought for a while and answered. I don't care whether the blue cat has a soul or not. Let's go in first and see what Silas has become. But before entering, I have a guess. Yeshi drove the ferry boat slowly on the quantum sea and looked at the camera. To be honest, this quantum ocean doesn't seem to be trying to stop outsiders at all, but rather seems to be imprisoning the people inside. But the soul, this rare but not rare thing, something that everyone in the 10 worlds has, how can it stop all life in the Silas galaxy? Because the people inside have no souls. Yeshi expressed his guess and then looked at the live broadcast room. His guess did not cause any big fluctuations. Because anyone who is still thinking should have thought of this when they heard what Yeshi said before. I can't imagine what it is to have no soul originally. I thought that soullessness refers to things like stones, but you said that stones also have souls, so what exactly is life without a soul? No, are they still alive? Yang Xuanhuan, it is best not to use human eyes to judge alien civilizations. I am not a human being, I am from Xiongdi Galaxy, I should be a butterfly. I also feel very strange. There is endless competition on the barrage. Emotionally it is easy to understand the sentence no soul, but intellectually it is completely impossible to analyze what a planet and life without a soul would be like. When crossing the quantum ocean, a small decoration on Yeshi's ferry boat moved slightly. The little Along woke up, and he seemed to realize that this galaxy was different. Although the universe is indeed cold, dark, and empty, there are many luminous celestial bodies, such as giant stars, main sequence stars, dwarf stars, white dwarf stars, neutron stars, stars and galaxies can all emit dazzling light. That's why when humans look up at the stars, they can see so much light on the sky, and that's why we have the adjective vast as stars. But the Silas galaxy in front of us is different. Because there is no light inside, it is like a huge corpse that has been dead for many years, and it is the first time that outsiders have come. Hiss, my eyes are a bit cold, it's too dark, it feels like a black hole. Perhaps when the sun dies, our solar system will also look like this. Kicking the doorframe, it's better not to have this dream, because the sun is essentially the prison of heaven. If the other 9 galaxies of yours are blown up, the sun in the solar system will not blow up. Golden Mouse, I don't know why, this Silas galaxy gives me a special kind of fear. In fact, before I came in from the outside, I wanted to run away and didn't dare to look any further. It's not that there is something powerful inside, the enemy is why I am afraid, I just simply feel fear. Add 1, I am in tears too, but Yeshen's live broadcast room is like being immersed in the scene. This inexplicable feeling of fear is really scary. The fearful barrages about the Silas galaxy in the live broadcast room kept coming and going, and they became more and more numerous, arousing the resonance of many people, both human and non-human. As a party at the scene, Yeshi didn't feel anything at all. It's a little weird, but it's not scary at all. Is it because it's a little darker? Yeshi looked at the live broadcast room and asked with some confusion. Wu Yang Tianzun, I know that in other live broadcast rooms, the anchor cries and the audience laughs, but here it is the other way around. We are the ones who get hurt every time. Living king of hell, I'm used to this, aren't you used to it yet? Bai Vuchain, Prince Yama just caught a few souls and studied them, but found nothing. You are indeed very professional. Yeshi really didn't feel any fear at all. This should have nothing to do with his strength. In order to figure out the reason, Yeshi looked at the kerosene lamp placed on the ferry boat. No wonder this tomcat chose to give me this little gift. Yeshi looked at the increasingly panicked live broadcast room and comforted him, then picked up the kerosene lamp and prepared to light it. It turned out that only divine fire could ignite this thing, so he took a handful of 6 ding of divine fire and threw it directly on the kerosene lamp. This moment was very much like the girl selling nuclear bombs igniting a nuclear bomb in 4000. Just for a moment. The entire Silas lit up inch by inch from where Yeshi was standing, and countless brilliance exploded instantly. Except there is no mushroom cloud, it really looks like tens of millions of nuclear bombs blooming in a variety of colors. The yellow kerosene lamp light ripples like water waves. This corpse-like galaxy once again bloomed with light. The faint yellow halo passed through time and space, distantly reaching the world tens of thousands of light-years away. Bad news, the sun is gone. Good news, here comes a kerosene lamp that's even more outrageous than the sun. Yes, she didn't feel surprised to see that the entire Silas galaxy was illuminated. After all, it had been expected. At this moment, Silas was filled with a warm yellow halo. Yes, she clapped his hands and looked at the camera. How's it going? It suddenly lights up. Are you not scared anymore? You are my uncle. I was very scared originally. I don't know if I was afraid of the dark, but after Yeshen's actions, although my fear did not disappear, it was transferred to Yeshen. Great, I am not afraid of Silas anymore, I am afraid of Yeshen. Ciao. There are already many outrageous things in the world, so one more thing like this is not very strange, right? Golden-haired shell, I am really not scared anymore. Fanwuju, thank you Yeshen for your generosity. We in the underworld are beginning to be afraid of you in the human world. Yeshi shrugged his shoulders. He didn't care about these messy things at all, anyway, they really weren't afraid anymore. So Yeshi drove the immortal boat slowly forward in Silas. And the kerosene lamp was still burning, very much like the most ordinary old thing that had been eliminated for tens of thousands of years. But the ordinary kerosene lamp illuminated the space of 3 meters next to it, and the kerosene lamp on Yeshi's immortal boat illuminated a galaxy. That's all. That's all. These planets. Although the movement was very slow, the immortal boat came from heaven after all. So after just 10 minutes, Yeshi and his team saw the first planet that was dead and could not be colder. I thought it was tragic enough that Mars was bitten by a cicada and a piece of the planetary wall was directly lost. Sure enough. Yeshi looked up at the camera. Did I underestimate the brutal nature of life in the universe? There are even more tragic things among the tragic ones. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 298. When Yeshi's complaints reached everyone's ears. These same people who saw this ruined planet couldn't help but nodded in agreement. I don't know what kind of weapons were used on this planet. The entire celestial body has been shattered. Most of the small fragments are wandering in outer space, and only 1/3 of this planet is left. Yeshi asked Xianzhou to get closer, and saw that the remaining third was covered with a thick black unknown substance. Just from the appearance, it was very similar to graphene, and it was still spinning. Squirming. Try to cover the remaining third. Inside the planet, because the sun that provides heat in the Silas galaxy seems to be dead, there is a piece of ice without any temperature. It is because of the extreme cold that the buildings on the planet have been preserved. Even the rubble in outer space has the occasional steel building. Yeshi inspected the first planet in the Silas galaxy inch by inch, and a familiar voice came to his ears. Ding, congratulations to the host, the exploration of the Silas galaxy map has increased by 10%, and the overall progress is now 10%. Ding, congratulations to the host for unlocking the first puzzle piece of the Silas galaxy. Reward Orlando X1, Antimatter Reactor X1000, Curvature Drive Spacecraft X50, Force Field Control Assistant X3000, Superconducting Ore X1000 kg, Silas Galaxy Map Fragments X2. Silas Galaxy Illustrated Book, The First Planet of Org Silas, the Orlando Life Symbiote. Org's first planet, this is one of the planets in the Silas Galaxy, and it is also the most tragic planet to die. When its satellite exploded, the life on the planet did not have any time to react and died completely. However, this planet also left behind its assets, because the sun of the Silas system was the first to explode, so all the resources of this system were lucky to be preserved. Orlando Life Symbiosis, it has no name. It is a life symbiosis from a distant alien planet. It has a symbiotic relationship with Org First Planet. It is now extremely weak, but it is still trying to repair Org First Planet. Of course, this attempt is in vain, because the Silas galaxy is destined to die. It is very similar to the Venom that you know. Orlando, you have obtained an alien life symbiote, a replica, not the original version. It can help any life become stronger and go further on the road of evolution, but strictly speaking, this is a technological product, but it is one of the very few beings with souls in this galaxy. Antimatter reactor, about the size of a football, well preserved, and can be used as an energy source for stellar engines. There were people in the Silas galaxy who wanted to escape from the galaxy, but they failed in the end, and the level of civilization continued to decline. Move, the first planet in front of you is the planet with the lowest technological civilization in the entire galaxy. Curvature Drive Spacecraft, a classic technological civilization spacecraft used to explore beyond the galaxy. Force Field Control Assistant, after wearing this instrument, no matter what special gravity planet you are on, your body's force field environment will be controlled to the gravity standard of your home planet. It is a very typical interstellar colonization weapon. Superconducting ore, one of the top materials in the universe. This is an energy ore. It is one of the most important ores for technological civilization, but it is not the most precious ore in this galaxy. Yashi listened to the sound of the system in his ears. I feel that this time the systematic description is a little complicated. It seems that there are a lot of new things, and almost everything is very special. It made him even more curious about this half-remaining planet and the entire Silas galaxy. I'll drop down in a minute, let's take a closer look. Yashi looked at the camera. The Silas galaxy is not only weird when entering the galaxy, but it becomes even weirder after entering. It can be seen from the ruins here that this planet was shattered by an attack from outside. An attack from outside the Silas system. Yashi raised his feet, fell down from the ferry boat, and stood on a large piece of gravel. This small piece of land is about as high as a hill, and there are steel buildings on it that look like spiders, but they are all in pieces. The entire planet is directly connected to outer space. Yashi only needs to take a step forward to reach the Org planet. However, when the ferry boat stopped, the symbiote of the planet seemed to be cautiously trying to get closer to the light source. I seemed to see the world of wandering Earth, completely frozen, and I was shivering from the cold. An attack from beyond the planet, is it Star Wars? What is that squirming thing above? It doesn't look like a good thing. Is it the life of this planet, but it became like this because the planet was blown away? One thing to say, you have a good idea. What a kerosene lamp emits is not just light, it is also a burning 6-digit sacred fire and a very special wick. In layman's terms, it is energy. This dead galaxy finally has such a little energy, and together with the dying Orlando life symbiote, it is trying to fly the moth into the flame with its last will to survive. Click. Yashi stepped down and shattered a piece of black ice that had been frozen for an unknown period of time, and scattered it into space. And he landed safely on this broken planet. Standing in place, looking around privately, Yashi bent down and picked up a work card on the ground. The system's built-in translation function was useful here, so Yashi didn't have to speak to know what was written on it. This work card. Yashi turned it over, wiped off the frost, and saw that the tool behind it seemed to be similar to magnetic induction and could still be used. In the long years of the sun's death, under the cold temperature that froze the entire planet, this work card was still useful. Tisk, it seems that the previous guess was wrong. The impact of the sun's death on them can be ignored. They were not blown up because of lack of energy. Yashi reached out again and picked up a box from below. He could just use the work card to swipe the box open. This is a set of power armor. Looking at the shape, it looks like a spider. Yashi unfolded it completely and found that this thing was about 5 meters high. The steel tentacles were very sensitive, and the energy it brought was sufficient to set up an energy shield. He pondered for a while, stretched out his hand and pulled out a white tiger, threw it to the driving position. Then walked a few steps to find another power armor and sat on it himself. My dream of mecha was realized by Yeshen. Don't forget there is a pilot. I am not as good as fish or cats. This civilization. Their technology seems to be thousands or tens of thousands of years ahead of Blue Star's technology. But such a powerful technological civilization has never even left the mother star cradle, the Silas Galaxy. Yashi looked at the camera, spread his hands, and the spider armor also stretched out two spider legs, performing an identical action. No wonder there is such a river at the entrance of the galaxy. Since I came to this place, in addition to bringing me more and more questions, I have not been able to answer any doubts. But, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Since I'm here, I'll explore this planet in their way. Everyone is dead, the planet has been blown up, and you tell me to do as the Romans do. Do you understand? This is called respect. Respect. Redefine when in Rome, do as the Romans do. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 299. Yashi is now wearing power armor. The overall shape is indeed very similar to that of a spider, and the cockpit can be completely closed to make it invisible. But he didn't do that. He didn't even close the cockpit door and just drove it for a few steps. Diamond Suit Interstellar Profiteer, Tomcat. Oh, the death of this planet is really miserable, but some gadgets are general merchandise, some very interesting gadgets, although they are already somewhat incomplete. Pass a cigarette to Brother Tom, please elaborate. You Blue Star people have such low moral integrity, Hitui. How many words in your sentence were not invented by Blue Star people? As the old saying goes, as long as I have no morals, I will not be kidnapped. As long as I have no lower limit, I will not worry about touching the lower line. Yashi drove the power armor for a certain distance, only to feel that he was walking in a layer of tissue paper. Something was wrong with his whole body, so he simply threw it away and walked as usual in this frozen heart. On the planet, there were various scattered orchids on the ground, as well as a mess of daily necessities and relatively well-preserved technological products, but not a single life was seen. Logically speaking, in this kind of environment, there should be specialties such as frozen alien statues or frozen alien ashes, but there is nothing, as if there is no one here at all when a war breaks out. Yashi picked up some interesting garbage on this abandoned planet and shared it with everyone, while speaking out the information he perceived, and finally made a conclusion. It seems that this civilization that attacked the Silas Galaxy carried out an extermination massacre. I don't know if it was a bombing targeting organic creatures or something else. But the original Silas star died so hard that not even a single ashes could be seen. It's too vicious and a little too scary. I'm so scared that I don't even dare to leave my ashes. Yunran is me, why are you afraid? Maybe it was just an accidental killing, as effortless as crushing an insect, without any other thoughts? Yang Xuanhuan, if it is an insect, it will not use this kind of specially targeted weapon. It is not even as good as the Angel of Peace. The Angel of Peace is not targeting a kind of life, but the entire galaxy, and on the Silas Galaxy the disaster only targets one kind of life. Alegio, this place should be close to leaving the Silas Galaxy, so I chose to explode the star. I bet that the remaining planets must be very well preserved, but there is no longer any life form in them. How do you know so much? Because in the universe, they will do the same thing when facing hostile civilizations. Yashi nodded after seeing these barrage. It's exactly what they too said. There is nothing to see here. The rest are some technological products. Let's set sail now and go to the front to have a look. Yashi walked around and found nothing else except the remaining technological weapons, so he was a little bored and said to the camera. However, I found a few interesting and familiar products of scientific civilization here. I will send some as souvenirs back to Blue Star. Remember to check them. After speaking, Yashi sent 20 antimatter reactors and force field control auxiliaries back, and then threw away 2 curvature drive spacecraft. This makes me so envious and jealous. We are also a technological civilization. I really want to know how an antimatter reactor is constructed. Once we understand the manufacturing principle, our civilization can make a leap forward. Kick the door frame, recommend marrying into Blue Star. Yashi conveniently sent the things to the space station opened by Longguo in space, then got on the ferry boat and slowly headed towards the next destination. Academy of Science, thank you big brother for sending me the super big Yvonne, love you, Moma. Mad, disgusting, crawling. Worry, did you receive it after brother? Yes. Edit, why is it faster than the blue cat? What is it? Diamond suit interstellar profiteer, Tomcat, you can spread rumors about my cat quality, but please don't doubt my business ability in this case. I kindly give Blue Star a super deluxe version of the detailed map of the alien life planet, delivered. It's 30 seconds faster than Little Poseidon. Yeah, she didn't expect that there would be a dispute, but it didn't matter. He was also from Blue Star anyway, and he was the one who took advantage. He won 3 times. What's in front of you is the second planet in the Scylla system. It looks like a giant gas planet with many satellites surrounding it. He picked up a telescope, pretended to look into the distance and said, there are many bases built on satellites, including those on giant gas planets. It's like a strict steel fortress, full of indescribable mechanical beauty. More is beauty, bigger is better, hundreds of billions of turrets, hundreds of billions of stars. Toll the bell once to push the lever and start the piston and pump, toll the bell twice and press the button to ignite the engine, ignite the turbine and inject life, toll the bell 3 times and sing in unison to praise the God of all machines. Mechanical, mechanical, mechanical. Machinery is the ultimate of the entire universe, and it is the romance of the universe. Heretics like immortal cultivators should get out of here. One day I will drive a Star Destroyer cannon to kill all of you heretics and perform the Deus Ex Machina. What beautiful gears, what magnificent technology. Is this a base in the outer orbit? I am so excited just looking at it. The scene in front of me is indeed magnificent, a kind of strict order, rigorous and complex technology, and mechanical beauty. Although the space fortress is in a static state, it is actually still consuming energy to maintain civilization. The tail emits a light like a faint morning star. Next to it are neatly arranged spaceships, and mechas of various forms that are larger than spaceships. Rumble. From here, you can also hear the sound of a large machine running. The alloy rope connects the space fortress, the space city and the satellite together, forming a space version of the staircase. Almost all the buildings are of the same color. Judging from the material alone, the surface is smooth without a single gap, much like a drop of water. Yashi can't tell the level of technology, but he can tell how much effort it takes to destroy the thing in front of him. I can only say that the technology here is several times more powerful than that of a planet. But this conclusion is really bad. When Yashi expressed his observation, he had already arrived in front of the space city. The space city was a fortress with a strong atmosphere of war. At this moment, it looked like a large donut that had not suffered any damage. But there was no one inside. It is such a terrible and terrifying planet. By Vuchain, I can't feel the existence of any soul. I asked around and it seems that no colleague has been to this place to collect souls. Did I bump into someone? Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yu Pian Hai. Chapter 300. Living King of Hell, I just checked my work schedule. I looked back 30,000 years, I didn't find the business schedule for the Silas Galaxy. It shouldn't be within my scope of work. They can't go to the underworld after they die. ALA Kingdom, sure enough, this is a typical civilization strike method. This is the extermination of genetic life from afar. I just went back and looked at the star map. There are a total of 13 planets in this galaxy. I counted a sun that should exist and entered it. There must be life on one of the planets here. How do you know so clearly? Is it you who carried out the mass extermination? As expected, all the people on Blue Star are perverts, a monster production camp, right? Alegio, no, this is a plan my friend wrote before about how we should deal with other civilizations. The plan she wrote is very similar to what the Silas Galaxy is experiencing now: destroy all organic matter on the planet, conduct a mass extinction massacre, and lock their technology at the primitive civilization stage, so that they will never be able to leave the planet. I am God. When did you become so perverted? Am I not keeping up with the trend of human evolution? Yang Xuanhuan, this is just one of the countermeasures. When we detect that the other party is threatening us, it does not mean that we must use it. Kick the doorframe. You can come up with such a plan. You are really a genius. It seems that it has not been completely sent out yet. Fanwaju, don't shout. You will come to us even if you die. What are you fighting for? The first to succeed will win. Yashi pushed open a door in the space city. It does contain a special air, but it is not oxygen. If humans inhale it, they will meet Bivuchain in 1 second. Yashi no longer needed the protection of such a suitable external environment to survive, so he was naturally not affected. After entering the space fortress and taking a look, he couldn't help but sigh. This level of technology can't even leave the galaxy. Is there really enough conditions in a galaxy to produce these technologies? There is no way to solve the problem of energy and materials alone. I really don't understand what's wrong with this Silas Galaxy. From the development of technology to the appearance of death and the existence of souls, nothing is weird, not like normal aliens. It stands to reason that I have seen many alien civilizations, but this is the first time I have seen such an outrageous one. As for the plan you mentioned about extinction of civilization, it is obvious that the situation here is different from what you imagined. From the traces of life, as well as these high-end weapons and automation, in addition to the life that built this space city, there are also future. A group of lives came here to live. However, the later ones have no way to repair or recreate, but can only use, and even caused many errors in the process of trying to repair, resulting in the misalignment of some machines. Yashi casually pointed at a robot that had been screaming and issuing warnings, and said to the camera, "I don't know how to repair this thing, so I modified its atomic arrangement, and sure enough, it stopped screaming now. Thumbs up, you understand science." Yeshen, although I don't understand science or technology, and I know nothing about technology, I can change the lowest level code of objects. Supreme Ching, this should be a fire alarm, but unfortunately, the people who lived in the space city later didn't recognize what it was and broke it. Are you a contemporary physicist above? Supreme Ching, no, I saw the translation of the subtitles. Yashi walked along and fiddled with many machines that had various errors. It was a handy thing. He even repaired an old computer body. Originally, he wanted to see what was wrong with the Silas Galaxy. Unfortunately, the computer body was blank. Yang Xuanhuan, computers are also a kind of life, so the life was deleted. Nothing useful was found here, not even long photos were left. Only work cards without names or photos were scattered all over the floor. William Tianzun, I can feel the horror of this galaxy more and more. Is this a conceptual deletion? I have seen this ability in the federal technology of my superiors. The one who possesses this ability is a god. Yashi saw this barrage and thought for a while, nodded and shook his head. It can barely be considered a conceptual deletion, but the object of the dispute is the life in the Silas Galaxy, not against us. Is it possible that they dare not target you? A weak barrage appeared in front of Yeshi, and all the barrages started to complain in an instant. Please remove the word we, I don't deserve it. No one is targeting me on Blue Star, and I still expect aliens to see me and target me. I don't have such a big face. I guess they can kill me with just a breath, so there is no need to say they are targeting me. I don't deserve to be used this word. They may not dare to target you, but they must be disdainful to target me. Kick the doorframe. Every time I come to this, I am still very relieved that you still have a considerable degree of self-awareness. Yeshi looked at these barrages with a speechless look. What I mean by not targeting us is that we can know. If it was a conceptual deletion, we don't even have the concept of the Silas galaxy. How could we still know so many things? Living King of Hell, good question, I have to ask you this. Yeshi's tone was serious. I'm sure it's not a conceptual deletion, otherwise this rule will try to interfere with me and then break directly. The things in front of me just show that this is a kind of erasure, a conceptual deletion of the Silas people. Well, the remaining civilizations in the cradle of civilization in this galaxy probably have no idea that they have ever had such a glorious time. It is estimated that each generation tried to go to the high heaven. The first generation was hit on the life source star, the second generation was hit on the nearest planet, the penultimate generation was hit here, and the penultimate generation was hit here. A generation was struck on Org's first planet. Yeshi's tone was calm, but the words he spoke made people tremble in silence. I seem to have seen an extremely desperate civilization, but they are still unaware of their own despair. They want to go to more worlds step by step, but every time they fail. I am God. According to this, there is a civilization observing the Silas galaxy, so they are also watching us now. Yunran is me. What a horror story. These people are so unlucky. Wouldn't they be doomed, and they would become crazy like the alien stewed eggs on the planet of behemoths. I just thought you were going to say that it's a scary story for us, and I was going to emphasize the fear in my heart unexpectedly. After reading it, I found that what you said is right indeed. It is scary for them story.